The years leading up to and during menopause are a rite of passage. The wise woman inside of us is calling to slow down, to take stock, to speak our truth, to burn away all that no longer serves us, ready for our next cycle of life. The good news is, with the support, community, connection, and most of all, sharing our stories and being truly seen and heard, we will travel through this powerful, sometimes painful, heroine's journey and out the other side. Welcome to the Menopause podcast, real and raw stories of midlife and mental health. I'm your host, Kylie Patchett, menopause self-care coach and storyteller, and I am so glad you found us. Let's get on with the show. Hello there, beautiful one. It's Kylie here. It's mid-December whilst I'm recording this, and I'm just about to head into a beautiful, spacious month off for summer holidays. And I put together this very special summer series of the podcast where I've chosen 7 of the most impactful of our over 85, isn't that crazy? 85 real raw stories of midlife metamorphosis and mental health and menopause and all things midlife transition points, really. And I've chosen the most impactful episodes, both for me personally, but also the episodes that have tweaked the most response and the most heartfelt messages in my inbox and on my social media, just saying, wow, that really, really hit home. And I just want to celebrate so much for all of us. You know, this midlife portal that we're in, this perimenopause to menopause transition is such a powerful initiation point, and it can feel really hard, absolutely. And it can also be the greatest invitation to heal and to let go and surrender and stake a claim on what we want and really, really step into this next phase of life, being very conscious about what we create and how we tend to ourselves and our own needs. So I want to wish you the most relaxing and restful festive season. And here's to a spacious, quiet, still, conscious step into the new year in 2024. I look forward to coming back with a brand new season for season 3. And in the meantime, I really hope you enjoy this beautiful summer series. Cheerio. I'll be with you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wild and Finally Fucking Free. I have an absolute treat for you today. I know I always say this, but this woman is someone that I've been wanting to come on the show from the very first episode. It's Janet McGeever. How are you, Janet?
I'm great, thank you. So lovely to be here. Same.
So good.
Wonderful to speak with you.
It's been we've been trying to line this up for a few times, and I'm just like, the timing is always perfect. So I'm really glad that we have come together today because I have so many questions for you. I always say this could be like a 5-hour episode. I'm not going to do that to you. So we know each other from Sunshine Coast long time ago, and I've been observing your work going, ooh, I want to – actually, I've been trying to get Shane to come on retreat with me. Anyway, we'll get to that. So could you introduce yourself to our lovely audience, please?
Yeah, I'm Janet McGeever. I am 62 years of age. I live in Noosa, and I'm a grandmother of 2 children with 3 granddaughters now, actually. And I've had an interesting life. I think not a life, no one's life really goes in straight lines, does it?
No, definitely not.
I would never have thought that my life would have ended up doing what I'm doing right now, brought up Catholic. But I'm a psychotherapist. I've been doing that for almost 25 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And my life sort of took an interesting turn into this field of sexuality and the area of menopause and the whole experience. And I kind of felt everything from the inside. And I think we all, whatever we do, it's always informed from what happens in our lives.
Absolutely.
And I've always loved just, being around women, running women's groups and workshops and things like that for a long time. And I even had a women's, like a boutique in my late 20s, all about femininity. You know, it was all about let's be feminine, not wear shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. Oh my goodness.
So in the 80s. So yeah, it's always been a theme, and creativity and art has always been a big theme for me as well. And so yeah, I feel like I'm, you know, I do a lot of writing as well these days, and so it's all. It's a really creative life, I feel. Yeah.
I can totally imagine you even in your 20s just being this beautiful. When I always feel like when I read things that you write, I feel held and supported and seen and like welcomed into this circle. Like there's always this like warmth. And I can just imagine you doing that in any, like, you know, in a shop, welcome. In a women's circle, welcome. In a making love retreat, welcome.
And men.
I'm glad you spoke about being a writer, because I actually just saw something on Facebook just before we started recording that you wrote yesterday. And if you're okay, I will share it because it's a perfect place to start.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday was International Women's Day, although people won't be listening to this until much later in March. So you write, women have a central place in the world today to lead with and through the heart. I mean, let's just feel into that for a second.
Yes.
Delicious.
Yes.
Never underestimate your role as a woman, and in particular as a menopausal woman. You are in a very influential place in your family and community. No matter your current circumstances, valuing yourself and your position as an elder with humility and grace, valuing the powerful needs of our bodies to slow down and be nourished at this most important entry into our wisdom years, will flow over into your life, relationship, and your love. Oh, always makes me want to cry. It makes me want to sigh and cry all at the same time. Love is our basic nature, and it is our most powerful resource. It is up to us, if we want to make a difference on this planet today, to step up to empower ourselves through awareness, insight, and understanding, opening the door to love, making love our priority. And then you go on to say, every woman that you meet today, no matter what age, meet her with your presence and your heart. Have a wonderful International Women's Day. And I was just like, what better place to start than that beautiful, soft place to land? Oh, my goodness. So many questions. All right. Let's start with, on your website, you describe entering a time in your life where you feel broken and then having this reawakening. I'd love to start there. Can you share a little bit about that experience?
Well, the feeling of being broken really came from, you know, my body going through a period, going into a stage that I didn't know I was going into, which was perimenopause.
Yeah.
And this happened through my 30s. And you know, that was the 90s, I think, and no one talks about it. And it's wonderful that it's being spoken about so much in what you're doing.
Finally.
You know? Finally. But we were all in the dark. And I had a friend who was going through menopause who was 10 years older than me. And I'd always be like, oh, God, will you stop complaining, you know, please. But I started to have these symptoms. And of course, there's the symptoms of, you know, emotionality and anger and all of these things. But one of the biggest ones and one of the most heartbreaking ones was that I just didn't want sex anymore. And I didn't feel like it in my body. There was no desire. There was no kind of interest. And I felt obligated. And the more I was obligated, the more I acted on that obligation, the more broken I felt and the more angry I felt, actually.
And resentful.
And then, you know, we'd sort of have sex and then there'd be a fight, you know, a day later or something, or just after that, or there'd be this quick togetherness and then this separation. And I just felt like, well, eventually my body would warm up, like something would happen, have an orgasm or something. But to start off with, it was just like laborious to come to it. And I never felt like I wanted it or was ready. And then by the time that was sort of around, it was starting in my mid-30s really. And then by the time 40 happened, in my early 40s, I just started to get this feeling of, oh my God, I just want to be buried in the earth and for no one to talk to me or touch me.
Oh my God, I reckon I'm there right now. I just said to you, I went back to the coast and there's too many people. I don't like people. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening.
I just had this feeling, I need to be put out to pasture and just be left, and I really see this as, I love the analogy of the earth. I love using the earth as an analogy. And it's just like, imagine just lying in a forest and you're just like, just in the earth, and there's just humus just growing, trees and everything. And you're just given a deep rest. And I think that this is what women need at this time. It's a time when we start being needing a deep rest. But as far as the broken bit, I just felt so physically broken. But because I kept on, I'm going to stick at this.
I'm committed.
I'm trying to find all the reasons why I'm so bad and so not like all these other women who are talking about multiple orgasms. And
nothing like comparison
I just felt so deficient. And what really ended up happening was I became very deficient in physically and emotionally. I became bereft really in many ways, and I ended up really one particular day having a breakdown. And I think everyone has different ways of describing breakdowns, and I won't go into the specifics of that, but I would say the very big changing point or turning point was I'd been in my consulting room seeing clients, and we lived at the back of Point Arkwright, right backed up onto Forest there.
Beautiful.
And there were these beautiful little rose-crested, what are they called?
Lorikeets?
Doves. Oh my God,
doves,
rose-crested doves. There's another word for them. But anyway, they're a gorgeous deep forest green with a beautiful kind of crown of rose colour. And Beautiful. Then a little bit of, I think, orange on the other side. And then underneath their belly is a bowl of fruit. It's like every colour of the fruit. It's a fruit dove. That's what it's called.
A fruit dove.
It's a rose.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to Google him.
Okay.
Yes.
They're so pretty. And there were two of them, and they were kind of like snuggling and nesting. I was just watching them right outside the window, and it was just the sweetest thing. Anyway, I don't know if it was weeks later or days later, but on this particular Sunday when everything came crashing down, and I just thought, I cannot do this. I am done. And basically I knew it was the end of the relationship. Yeah. But I heard this loud smash on the window, loud kind of cracking noise on the window. And I went, oh my God, because we had a lot of glass. That's a bird. And I looked over on the deck, and it was one of the rose-crested doves, fruit doves. Yeah. And I went out, and I came back in, and I was just sitting down and picked it up and turned it over. Yeah. And just saw the belly. I'd never seen one that close. And looked at its face, and it was just peaceful, like the eyes were closed. The beauty of a dove's face. And I just looked at it and just thought, this is the most feminine thing. So beautifully feminine. And I thought, I am killing myself here. I'm killing my femininity. I'm dying in this. Yeah. Yeah. And then, so it was this big realization of, that just informed it, because actually this is very interesting. Only almost a moment before, I was sitting there going, no, you're over dramatizing this. This is
diminishing the feelings.
That's no. Look, you can do this.
This is not logical.
Okay. Not logical. This is, and then smash, this happened. And it was just like life affirming to me, look, you gotta look after yourself here. Yeah. And literally, I think it was a day later, the next morning, because we had so many, birds and trees around us.
Yeah.
The mate was there on. It was just a spread of feathers over the ground, and another bird or animal had found it and killed it.
Oh.
So the two of them. Yeah. So to me, that was my turning point.
Yeah.
And like I say, life and nature informing me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I had to, make this change. And then, of course, it's not an easy one. And that takes time, for that transition to happen. But it is a transition that happens a lot for women. I'm not saying to that that degree of that drama, but this is something that I think many women hit is this point of, and I've heard you say, I cannot do this. I am done.
Absolutely.
And it is part of the whole thing of, I'm available for everyone. I'm available sexually. I'm available emotionally. I'm available physically, everything. And that we have just given over so much of our own authority.
Yeah.
And so much, especially when it comes to sex, sex happens so quickly, and we're so much quickly into the exchange in just classic normal sex, that women really, it can be a feeling of, actually, I'm not quite ready. Oh, hang on. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
But, it's that when we're younger, it's just like, because, guys are so into it.
Yes. Hurry up.
That's right. And so there can be this very subtle, kind of compromise, I guess. We want it. We want the love.
We want the connection.
And then we want the connection. We want that. But over time, it kind of erodes our sense of self, and erodes our compass. We lose an inner compass of who we are and where we are. And I do think that this transition period, perimenopause and menopause in our midlife, is about finding that compass again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it spins out, it spins out, and we lose our direction, and we don't even know if we've had a direction, because we've been in so much service and so much pleasing, because that's our automatic way. And
I just love that description. I keep using the language coming home to myself, but I love inner compass even more, because whether it's in a relationship or around sex or around mothering or around I don't know, even being in jobs that don't fit or fulfilling people pleaser tendencies or whatever, that's exactly what we're doing, is eroding our ability to even find our own direction. I just love that. I love that. I've got one of those beautiful ornate bronzy sort of compasses in my mind now, and I'm like, coming back to the heart of that and finding it again.
That's right. And so feeling powerful. Like the compass is inside.
Yes.
Like I do, I agree. I'm always talking about coming home in your body, but the compass isn't outside, it's actually inside. And you're right, you're touching your heart. It's here, the belly, the heart, the womb, like the inner compass is in here. It's all informed through our body. And if there's one thing that, I think that we're good at, we've been taught to not be good at it. We've been taught to be so in our heads and in our minds. But,
absolutely.
Menstruation, you can't help but be.
Yeah.
There's your body.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Doing something.
Hello.
Hello. And then if you become pregnant and, babies and things. So we live very much through our bodies naturally.
Yeah.
And yet so much of life takes us out of that place.
Absolutely.
And so this, to me, this period of our life is about returning in and finding that compass inside. That
to me reminds me of I've just read and also interviewed Kate Codrington, who's got the book Second Spring, and she talks about menopause being, a winter time. So when you're talking about being in the forest and underneath all the leaf matter and just like literally being in a cocoon, that's what I feel like. I'm like, I don't want to be outward any more than what I need to.
Yes.
And I feel very protective of my energy and my resources, like very, very, the word that keeps coming back to me is like reverent of my resources, because I'm very aware that I've got less to spend or invest, I guess. But yeah, that the turning in, like in traditional Chinese medicine, that is what winter is for. Like it's for dropping our leaves, turning in, replenishing, resting, storing up, and even getting the sense in our bodies of what might be happening in the springtime, but not doing anything about it.
Yes.
Like literally just being, and we're not taught that. We're not, unless we've been, I shouldn't say we're not. I personally, that's not been my experience. I've definitely gone through that outward, you know, the getting the promotion, getting the this, getting the, like all that outward. And yeah, this turning inwards feels like such a privilege to me, because I'm at the time where I don't have to be actively day-to-day parenting. I'm very aware that with people having later children, children in later ages, excuse me, I just spent time with a girlfriend on the weekend, and she's got, I don't actually know how old the girls would be, but, you know, primary school kids, but she's also going through really, really challenging. And I'm just like, I do not know how you do it, because I literally can just put myself to bed.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
But she doesn't have that. And she's a teacher as well. And I'm like, holy dooly, man. Like I don't know how you do it. So I really love the turning inwards, because, you know, and I feel like it's like Mother Nature knows what she's doing. Doesn't she? Like we don't have to, like, yes, there's definitely symptoms that are, you know, can be quite challenging for everybody.
Yeah.
So never ever taking away that end of things where people are really, really struggling. But the thing that I keep on coming home to is the gift of this realization that it's time to come back to ourselves. And be reverent with our resources. And just so beautiful. I love that. The compass, that's such a gift, Janet. Thank you.
Well, I also love how you just said about, you know, it doesn't mean we have to act on it, you know, straight away. And if we come to that analogy of laying in the earth and letting the earth kind of, you know, feed us, and the humus lying on, if you think of that analogy, it's almost like we've been going around with no roots, you know, and now if we're laying in the earth, it's like we're growing new roots.
We're growing new roots.
And if you think of a plant, it takes time, you know, for those roots to go down, and then for that little seedling, that sapling to start to come up. And it does, and it is, you know, to honor the seasons of that. So I find nature such a beautiful,
isn't it,
teacher in that, you know.
Such a beautiful teacher.
And it's not to mean, of course, you know, we can't just go and, you know, completely do that. We have to live in the world. But I love your way of, you know, being reverent with your energy, and
I'm really
having that awareness.
Yeah, I'm really reminded of the sacred no. That is something that's been very clear to me, like especially in the last couple of weeks, where I've just been like, I don't actually want to do that anymore. And the no just feeling like, actually, I just did an interview with two people that have a podcast, Betsy and Kate, called Tend Her. So Tend Her, H-E-R, wild, beautiful, absolutely beautiful people. And one thing, I've lost my train of thought. My brain just did one of those connection things. It'll come back to me. Anyway, this happens to me sometimes. It's like, brain fog.
One of those things that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm interested to know, I know you came across the work of someone who was an absolute, like it literally changed the direction of where your life has gone. Can you talk to us about that? Because this is one of my favorite parts of your story. It's like when we're ready, something magical happens.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I read the book by Diana Richardson called The Heart of Tantric Sex. And I actually had already had that book for probably about 5 years before this happened. Excuse me. And that was probably maybe 3 years, actually. It was probably the thing that made me start to twig to, my body is different to a man's.
Yeah.
A woman's body is different. Maybe that's why it's taking so long for my body to warm up sexually. Right? Because she explains in that, and it's based on Tantra, explains that women's bodies open up from the breasts and the nipples, the upper part of the body, and men's are ever ready because they're already
pleased to meet you.
And it just takes time for that energy to travel downwards.
Yeah.
And so just that first little bit, just like, and I just thought, I want to meet this woman. And it was probably 5 years later with a new partner that I got to go over to Switzerland. And as soon as we met each other, we were just like, I know you.
There you are.
And we got on so well. And she's South African. Yeah. And so it was like we were just sisters straight away. And I just really loved her way of speaking about sexuality. It was so accessible. Anything to do with Tantra that I'd heard of before kind of left me a bit cold, or it sounded a bit icky, or it was a bit too far out, or was a little bit, just felt slightly ungrounded. And, I think there's a lot of really good people working in that field. So I don't want to, put that down. But I just think that it has been taken by the Western mind and overlaid with the same things that sex is overlaid with, which is, that let's have sex that's quick and fun. Well, that has a goal, actually, not really quick for us, but has a goal. And I think that Western Tantra can still have a goal. And that's why we have lots of techniques and things to move energy here and there.
Yeah.
Diana's work and the work I teach is not about techniques. It's about presence. It's about coming home into the body and finding this place inside. The more I'm here and present in my own body. And for women, that is so key and gold, because we go, right, I'm here, I'm home, I'm not over there responding. And also he comes in and he's, I'm not over there chasing.
Yes.
And that's one of the key things I see in the couple in the Making Love retreat, which I didn't talk about in the beginning, but
but we will.
Making Love retreat.
I want to get that. So good.
And one of the beautiful things that I see, when men start to understand, that's why she's being repelled by, she loves me and I love her, but she's being repelled by my energy because it's all kind of draining outwards, or it's, going outwards towards her, and she's going,
whoa, this is just another demand on me.
This is too much, you know. But as soon as men bring their energy back inwards, women just go, oh my God, he was all of a sudden just so attracted to me. I just felt he was so magnetic. And so it's these very simple concepts that, when we understand about our bodies, female and male body, that help us kind of, it takes the stress out of sex, I think. It's like, it was just such a relief to hear this information, and to, it's one thing to read about it, but to go over and actually to experience the retreat, and actually to sit there and listen to the teaching and get the really delicate nuances of it, and to be taken through the experiential part of it, and to just sense, like, I think one of the things about this work, or any work around intimacy, it can be confronting, because you're confronting the deepest part of our system, and so,
and whether we feel safe, being truly intimate.
And that is actually, I love that you suggested that you talked about that, because that's like the number one key. When he's home in his body, or the other person is, so it can be same sex, whatever. But if I'm home here, then there's more safety, because it's not this demand, and there's a more relaxation, that happens there with that. So it's a beautiful thing. So that was just really transformational to experience that. And of course, I went through my own healing journey in that too, because when you come to your 40s or beyond, you've experienced times when you've probably allowed things to happen when you don't
Yeah,
you want,
absolutely.
or things like that. So
Yeah.
that's why I see this work as very healing, because we can heal on the level of emotional, or, that kind of level, but this work is through the body.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so when each person can start to feel safe with each other, that connection, that healing, which is done very carefully and gently, in the Making Love retreat, the way I teach it, so that they come together and there's a safety, and then healing can start to happen. So to me, it's healing on a cellular level.
Yeah.
It really, really happens in that way, which is beautiful. And of course, there's the absolutely luscious, gorgeous, this heart-filling body gorgeousness sensation. I can't get enough words for the feeling of just making love in awareness and slowing things down, and just the relaxation in it, and the widening, and the the opening that happens with the heart. And this is the thing, I think a lot of sex is spoken about without even talking about the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are men and women. We have this powerful force of our hearts, and to bring the integration of heart and sex together is just so powerful. And it's so it is healing on just so many levels. And making love isn't this event that happens, it just continues in the relationship.
I just so I've got so many different.
I'll stop
No, please don't stop what you're saying. All I wanted to, there's something popping into my head, and the word that keeps coming back to me is power. And I'm interested to hear, because you're saying when the man is inside of himself and the woman is inside of herself, and then we're allowing this to be true intimacy and connection. To me, the power word is coming up because it feels like it's not about power over or letting go of power or giving away your power or having too much power, too little power, whatever. Does that feel true to you? Like, what do you want to say about power? That's the word that's
my God.
banging on the back of my head.
I love that you say that, because I always say, I think because we've come from a history of feeling disempowered from women.
Yeah.
And it's like men have had the power, or the masculine, female masculine has had the power. So we're so used to giving that over. So women, I think, have done a flip in a way, generally as society, to I've got to be more powerful now. I've got to be forceful with my power. I'm going to be forceful with my sex. I'm going to be forceful with how I deal with everything. But when we look at that, and it might feel good momentarily, but actually it's not a balanced power. So I say our power as women, it's not a power over, it's a power within.
Yeah.
It's this power, it's this embodied power within, and our heart and love is the source of our power.
Oh my goodness. This is like balm for my soul. I cannot wait to be able to share this with people, because I just had an interesting conversation with someone I was recording with yesterday, and both of us have this really strong aversion to the fuck the patriarchy stuff that's going on. And I'm not at all suggesting that there is not systems of power that have grown up that you could assign the label of patriarchy, whatever. But the fuck the patriarchy to me it's the same stuff in the opposite direction.
Totally.
And I'm just like, this is not healing anything. And me personally, when I feel the most powerful, I'm connected to, how do I put this into words? Like when I'm on a yoga mat and I feel the most like myself, the power is this quiet, grounded, creative, goosebumps, like juiciness.
Yeah.
It is not fuck you.
Yes.
To me, that feels completely different. Fuck me. Fuck you is like, it's kind of how I felt like in my 20s, where I was in a field where I had to compete with males. And so I'm masculine. Well, I don't even know whether I just created myself into a man. Like I was just, Hey gorgeous, we interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients of the soulmate variety, more cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip, energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard, real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode. Like, just so focused on outcomes and goals and like all that stuff, like completely living in my head. That's not fun. I don't want to go back there. Can we not do that pendulum swing? Can we just come back to our internal power? That's why I wanted to ask that question, because it feels very different to the screw the patriarchy thing. And I feel my sense is that we're not doing ourselves any favors by pushing the balance in the as extreme but opposite direction.
I'm so with you. It denatures us, you know. It denatures us from our deep feminine, natural feminine, innate power and wisdom, you know. And this is the thing. It's almost like we've been hoodwinked into, you know, losing ourselves as women. Yeah. And I just think that this is all just new territory. It's new ground for women to be even speaking about. And on a sexual level, you know, there's that masculine goal that, like you talking about, you know, having goals, you know, in your 20s, and sex is goal oriented generally. We get to the peak and the discharge, and then we're finished, and that's the end. You know, over quickly, la la la. Whereas if we want to go in a different direction, it's a direction where we're just letting go of goals. We're going more into relaxation, and exactly what you described about lying on the yoga mat, feeling that sweetness, that it's more cool, right? So it's very hot to go to the peak and discharge sex, whereas it's a cooler. But when you think about it, you're here, you're connected to your body, but you're also expansive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're wide, and imagine making love from that place,
from that space. I'm going to add that to my W poster. I've got something over there. I keep on drawing at the moment, and my current poster is wild, witchy, wise. I'm going to add wide.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because that expansiveness, like one of my words that I chose for this year is receptive, and that's really I feel like that's that feeling of that quiet power and just being open. And I guess what also is coming to my mind and heart when I say that is that part of being or feeling safe in our bodies to open is definitely the healing part of anything that has caused us to create those barriers.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing that that's a huge part of what you do.
It is a huge part of my work.
Yeah.
And this always it's always incremental. It's always just little steps.
Yeah.
You know, and it's and that's why the education side is really important for the men to hear as well as the women, so that they that we get it on a mental, intellectual level. Why this needs to just take that little bit longer. It needs to take that time.
Yeah.
You know? So, the safety aspect is amazing. And I think that's what a lot of women say by the end. I feel safe. I feel safe. So, it's important. And something you just said too was really interesting about receptivity, because what I teach in the retreats and what's, the Diana Richardson work is the dynamic, which is the masculine. So you've been very dynamic. We've all been very dynamic in we've been very masculine in that way, and not giving enough attention to the receptive. Well, the dynamic for women is the breasts and the nipples, is that part. That's where energy is raised. The receptive is our vagina, right?
Yeah.
And for men, the dynamic is the penis, receptive is his heart. We haven't given enough value to the power of the receptivity of our bodies. We've treated the vagina like it's a dynamic organ. Something to pump and let's get something going on here.
For a goal.
For the goal. And we've completely not understood and never been taught the power of the receptive, this receptive organ. And receptivity, as we know, it's receiving. It's also a force, right? We say that the dynamic is a force, but receptivity is a force. It's a power as well. And so to experience without, being so dynamic in lovemaking with the vagina, to go to more relaxation and more sensitivity, away from high sensation or high friction to more sensitivity, it allows the vagina it takes on a whole new quality, and it becomes so much more receptive and absorbing. So you don't have to do all this work to make it open and plump up and happen. She's just has this natural, because the environment has been created.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's not all goal focused, like all genital focused either, where we've got more awareness about the whole body. And it's amazing. It's beautiful, because it's so lovely to see the women just feel such relief. And I think that's what it was for me, the turning point of just like, oh my God, I'm not a dead log. Like I was told I was. I'm not, dried up and and of course there's the challenges, that we have with menopause and thinning of the vagina and things like that. So we have things and do things to assist that kind of thing. But I just see the relief on both men and women's faces, and just like men just going, oh my God. I guess such a relief.
I mean, from their point of view too, I'm trying to put myself in the position of, and particularly a midlife woman, where you've had a sexual relationship that looks and feels like this. And I think you have said in the copy on your website about, like, you had always been very, connected to that sexual connection, etc., in that relationship. And then when then you felt different, it was very discombobulating for you. And I've had the same sort of experience. I'm like, imagine our poor partners who are trying
Yeah.
to make sense. And I was reading something the other day and I turned around to my husband and I said, well, sweetheart, this should only last about 7 years. And I reckon we're at 18 months. And he just, his poor little eyeballs, he was like, and bless him, he will never, ever say anything negative, but you can see his body language just going, oh, fuck. And, shout out to all the gentle, amazing partners that walk alongside us and go,
I know.
she doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I still love her. So we'll just stand a little bit further away.
Yeah.
At a safe distance, but still be here.
Exactly. That's so beautiful.
The discombobulation, I think. And I do think too that as you're talking about the receptivity, like the words and the feelings that are my kind of core desires at the moment is receptivity, softening, being gentle with myself, being reverent. They're all very inward wisdom, not wisdom seeking, wisdom aware, I guess. It's like I have this sense that there's something magical afoot, but it's not ready yet. And that, just hearing you speak about that. Going back to, so you're in Switzerland, first of all, amazing to go and actually work directly with Diana Richardson, first of all. But you're in Switzerland for flips.
Oh my gosh. I was like a little girl, just like, oh my God. And it was snowing. Like,
oh my God. I'd be skipping. I would be
magical land, that place. I love that country. Yeah.
And you had this connection with Diana, which I absolutely love hearing because I'm experiencing that so much at the moment. It's just, I don't know, just that eyeball to eyeball thing that happens in women in midlife where I'm like, oh my God, I see you. Yeah. You're a sister. Exactly. When you did that retreat, did you straight away decide that you wanted to be a facilitator because you later became the Australian Making Love Retreat facilitators with your then partner?
Yeah.
Did that happen straight away? Like, what's the process?
No, she's amazing. This is what I love about her. By day 3, when I heard the polarity teaching that I just spoke about, the dynamic, I just went, I want to teach this.
Yeah.
This is. I'd already done a lot of training in embodiment, or it wasn't called embodiment back then. It was just experiential, blah, blah, blah.
Mind body.
Yeah. And it was just me. The retreat was just me. I was just like, actually, I already do this. I already do that. Yeah. I had a vision of doing this with couples, like it was already in my consciousness.
Yeah.
So it was just so here anyway. And I asked her the next day and she said the classic thing of, I don't teach teachers. You have to go away and practice this for 5 years. And we just looked at each other and went, okay.
Well, hey, we're having fun. Why not?
And we'd actually already been doing, I think, we sort of said, look, we're already running something for couples.
Yes.
And she was fine with that. But we didn't do anything like what was in the retreat. And I just designed that up myself, basically. And so we did that for a few years, and she would come over here. That's the other thing. We kept in touch because her father lived in Madruba. So I'd go down, we'd hang out, and she's a very funny person too. So we had a lot of fun and just share stories and share notes and things and experiences. And after about 3 years, well, I'd said, we're running these, they're going good. And how many couples? Oh, just 2, or 3 sometimes. And she really liked that we weren't going for this big, thing. And it was just little baby steps. And then the next retreat that we were there, she said, you can teach. So I think we were given permission in 2011. We started in 2012.
Wow.
And coming up to the 11th year now. Yeah, and Jean retired in 2019.
Yeah.
So we kept on teaching for a few years. And then, so I'm teaching it on my own at the moment until, such time as, you know, it's very specialised, this work.
It
so,
is very specialised.
you know, the right person with the right presence has to
Yeah,
step in.
absolutely.
But I've had just the most incredible feedback. You know, couples who've come before, and since I'm teaching on my own, that
Yeah.
nothing's been lost, and it's been, you know, I've been teaching it for so many years now,
Oh,
so
beautiful.
it's in me, it's in my blood, and I love it, and I feel so incredibly privileged. I mean, to me, it's the most touching, deepest work that I can do, and yeah, so very, very lucky.
Do you feel like, I've read a few books, but also, and also not but, and also, again, my sense is that there is, like I said before, something calling me, and I can't quite, it's nebulous still, but there's something big calling me. Do you feel like this work was a calling for you? Would you use that type of language?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like that comes with the midlife, like when you go inwards and you go through the perimenopause stage and all of the, you know, going to goo in the cocoon, you know, the magic and the mess of that middle bit? Was it when you emerged out the other side and identified as menopausal? Does that line up timing wise to this sort of calling? It does.
I believe so. And, you
Wow.
know, the word that keeps coming to me is gathering. You just the way you were just speaking before, I talked before about, I can't remember the words, but I just think this period of time in our midlife is about gathering.
Yes.
You know, you're gathering in and preserving and reserving, and it's just being held in there, in that receptivity. You're not actioning out so much. It's the preservation, and that's what we say, practices for spiritual and sexual renewal. But there is a preservation that I think we naturally need to do, and it's gathering in all the threads from our life and what's informed us, and then because to me it's almost like, wow, I feel like my whole life has taken me
led to there. Yeah, that's
and you know, I was even just thinking this morning, God, I'm 62, and you know, it just feels so big, this what I'm doing right now. And it's got a lot of movement, and I can't stop now.
No.
You know, like I won't be. And it's I just think because it's such a creative phase too, I think, you know, that gathering, you're gathering to replenish and renew and preserve, and to allow that pickling of things. To then start to emerge. So
have like some cabbage in vinegar.
And it takes time, doesn't it, for all that to come about. And
I
think
that.
we're marinating. So it's like we're marinating in all the things that we've learned and understood, and that's why to be too active and you know, too much out, it's just not. You've got to wait for the right time. And I just feel like I've just been plodding away, you know, really doing what I do, and plodding. And I think also, you see, I'm not a really loud person, as you probably know.
No, not at all. And talk about quiet feminine power.
And I was, you know, always I think quite gentle sort of child, and I had a very strict father. He was very dominating and strict, and very you know, Catholic, and it was harsh at times, and it was crushing at times. And then moving into also a relationship with someone who I know loved me, but you know, I just felt crushed a lot of the time, and the sense of not having a voice, and feeling like, especially with my father, none of my opinions mattered. And it was like you had to have his opinion, and that was the only opinion. It was a bit like the same in the relationship. And I feel like this last third of my life, or last 15 years, has been about really kind of gathering my own opinion about things, and then having the courage to speak up. And it's right. I was quite frightened to start off, because what I'm saying and what I'm speaking about might be a bit more mainstream now, but it wasn't in the beginning.
No, absolutely not
at all. And it was just, especially in Tantra, it just was like, what?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's that?
So I do think that, it's a time for us to find our voice as well. And it's a balance, because that I was so in. Now it's not that I'm out. It's just that I'm just finding more solid ground to be able to speak from. And it doesn't mean, my voice might still shake, and I'm quite tender and all these things, but I still say what I've got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't stop you anymore.
I'm kind of at the point of going, well, just say it and speak it, because I am getting a lot of women and men who resonate. So,
yeah, of course. And that's the thing that's what I mean. At the heart of it, the storytelling behind this podcast is a similar thing. It's just a space to speak your truth. And for people like yourself who are sharing your story, and also the way that you help people navigate this messy middle, that's a beautiful thing to be able to share. And there's also women that have come on that have never spoken their truth, ever, never spoken about what they speak about.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I just got an email the other day from someone who asked me to come on. I didn't actually, friend of a friend type of, connected, but not very known. And as a result of just being able to speak some things out loud, there's been this great unraveling. And I'm just like, this is the power of, it doesn't have to be in a, public, not everyone has to go on a podcast and bare their soul, God forbid. But I just feel like that's such a big theme that runs through so many of these conversations, is voice and vulnerability. And sharing stories are healing for ourselves and also healing for the people that receive them.
I love that.
That is, to me, I feel like that is part of the gathering for me. Gently gathering. I love that. Gathering and pickling. I'm going to add that. I love it. Can I ask you, we've gone very philosophical, and now I want to ask something that's probably something that other people have wondered about. So my poor husband, I'm like, there's this lady on the Sunshine Coast, and she runs these making love retreats, and they sound really cool. I have no idea what they do. And his response was, if you're asking me to go on retreat to have someone else watch us have sex, it's a no from me. So do you get that? Like,
my God, yes.
What other silly questions have you had about retreats? And
that's not silly to me.
Well, not silly, but
most men fear is just like, no way, and isn't it interesting? That's what our minds conjure up. And naturally, so one of the things I have on my website, there's no nudity or demonstrations in this retreat.
Well, that's the other thing that may or may not have been said in my household.
I don't demonstrate anything. Nothing. I'm not naked. No one's naked. It's not partner swapping. It's not doing anything weirdo. That's just not
no keys in the bowl, people. It's okay.
That's right. We just have, it's really, to me, it's about returning to our hearts and helping, men and women just return to that place, their hearts and their bodies. And so I have, teaching segments. We have circle things where you can share. We don't sit around and do circle share all day. It's not like that. You have one in the beginning. Really, it's just to set the intention. And all the little exercises that I give are all just about being in our body individually first. So it's about, let's be here first.
Yes.
Before you even connect with the other person.
Yeah.
And then, in the mornings we do, stretching and exercises and a little bit of breathing and awareness, inside the body. Very, very simple stuff. And then a beautiful, I just do these lovely couples exercises that, you get to connect together in a very tender way. And, people think, oh, it's all eye gazing. Well, You know, like that's again, that's goal oriented, isn't it? Yeah, let's look at there's steps to that place. And I step you through everything like that, where it's it's very tenderly kind of worked with. And then of course there's the education side. So there's an opening there for questions and for people to share. And this is what's so beautiful, is hearing, you know, the men speak. I mean, the women, we're used to speaking, but often we're just like, oh my God, did he just say that? And for the men to hear, oh yeah, me too. I'm like that as well, to go, because it's the most embarrassing thing to talk about, right? Because men mostly are fairly identified with their performance.
Yeah,
and so to come to a making love retreat, well, that's just a total evidence and statement that I'm not a good lover. And that's
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Often it's just like, well, would you want to go to? You know, I'm not the one with the problem. You've got the problem.
Oh yeah, okay.
I hear that a lot, and I always say to them, it's actually not her problem.
No,
it's also not your problem. It's both.
Yeah.
It's our. You know, it's where we've come from in our conditioning.
Yeah,
we do sex a certain way, and it ends this way, starts this way, ends this way, and then there's a lot of problems that come from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if we can go in this direction. So and then
sorry, I just want to ask, do you have mostly couples that have been together for a long time or short time, or a mix of everything? They're just aware that it's so funny. That's such a male versus female kind of thought process, because I didn't ever think performance. What I'm like, you know, we've been together 27 years, intimacy, connection, learning more, depth, wisdom, shared space, holiday, you know, like that's what I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And of course, knowing you, I'm like, I know that this is going to be tender and safe and warm and welcoming, and all of the things that I know about you already. So that to me, that's, you know, it's a done deal. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was going to say, well, you know, after the teaching segment, which is so enlightening, I mean, really, the very first thing that couples say on the first day is, why is this not taught in schools?
Yes.
And I wish I knew this 20 years ago. Then we have lunch, and then the afternoon you've got 3 hours for making love or for connecting.
Experiencing.
3 hours, but it's 20 minutes to no, not in this way.
On a good day, no.
It's good to just have lots of time, lots of no ending time. It takes a while, and then we come back into the room and we have a beautiful, you know, sort of body exercises that are very relaxing and you know, combination of movement and stillness. And then each day runs like that, basically, where that there's a combination of experiential and teaching. And so you're getting the understanding, but you're getting to experience it through the body, and then you're getting to kind of explore that and experiment that with that in your own room, in the privacy of your own space. And that's
not
plenty
observed.
Of time. And I always say it's time for loving.
Yeah.
You know, because some couples haven't made love for a while and for years sometimes. And so to jump into, it's so funny. I've learned how to kind of say it, because the first day women are like, I'm so angry. I was so angry at you because you said to go and, you know, I didn't say go and make love. I always frame it up just like, see what happens, you know. But they go, oh, I have to make love. I have to have sex. So, but it's just, to me, it's time for loving and time to bring, you know, what you've already learnt into the space and just see where that goes, and be gentle with yourselves. And there's plenty of time for a cup of tea and, you know, a little walk and whatever.
I'm feeling into what you just said about why do we not teach this? Because I know, like, my parents, there was no talking about sex, and even more so in my family, because my dad was 55 when I was born, so by the time I was a teenager he was like 70 plus, and he could not even cope with a boy ringing the house, like literally. I used to actually I chose to lie and have a friend or a sister of the, and these aren't boyfriends, I'm not talking about boyfriends, I'm just talking about friends who were male.
Boys, right.
So that's what sort of like protective father barrier he had up. My mum did not talk about anything messy, that's what she would have said, or like, you know, any sort of intimacy, anything that required her to be present or vulnerable wasn't on that. And so I think for a lot of us of my generation, at least, like all my friends had the same experience, apart from one who we were just laughing the other day. I was saying, I've got this really like clear awareness that like we all met each other. So these are girls that I used to work with in forensic. We met each other when these girls' parents were our age now. So it's like we have closed the circle of the, you know, and we used to joke about, oh yeah, you don't go over on Sunday morning because that's sex morning for the parents. Right. And now I'm like, oh my God, I am the parents. Like it's this weird sort of like full circle thing. But where I was going with all of that, sidebar, sorry if you're listening, I'm not even going to say what your name is. But if we're not talking with our parents, and we may not necessarily have friendships where we're talking about it either, because I think still when I was younger, it wasn't something that you shared in intimate detail. Of course, we don't flip and well know any of this. Like literally, like how are we meant to? And even more so males, because even if we were talking to our friends, the guys weren't. They were talking about scoring or, you know, whatever, like that sort of real masculine version. But they weren't talking about intimacy or openness or connection, or like, of course not. But I'm laughing at the moment because both my girls have got beautiful man friends, and they're constantly embarrassed by the things that I will talk about in front of all of them, including menopause. And like, one of them's like, Mum, can you stop talking about being menopausal? I'm like, no, because we need to normalize these conversations. So I will not stop talking about it. Because one day it'll be you going through it. Yeah. And if I keep on talking about what I'm finding and experiencing and how it's affecting me and how it's affecting other people and what I'm learning, then you won't feel so disconnected and isolated and all of those things. And I think it's the same for this connection, sex, like real intimacy conversation. Like exactly. How are we meant to know?
I love that.
We've never.
That you're doing that. Yeah, I know. There's so much shame, you know, around the topic. And yet, you know, the way that we teach it in the Making Love retreat, it's just the most natural thing. It's just
it is.
Sweetest natural thing.
Sweetest natural thing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love so much of your language. You're such a writer. Your words hit me. Actually, one of the words you talked about before, denature, as a like genetics, like you know, originally geneticist, denaturing is actually pulling apart our DNA helix. Oh. And then when you said that word, where my mind went to is denaturing, as in pulling apart the helix, but also like the mother line and our connection with our feminine power and all of the wounding that's gone on generations ago, like all of that. And I'm like, whoa, okay. It's like
beautiful.
10 different conversations happening in my mind. Oh my goodness. We haven't talked about the fact that you got to actually write a book with Diana in the end, which must have just been the most divine feeling to join together with a sister and share the next level of that work. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that came about?
Well, I had known that her German publisher had asked her to write one on menopause, and the funny thing was I'd already been writing for Holistic Bliss magazine, for many years, and I've been writing about menopause and sex for about 5 years. So it was kind of second nature to me, because it's what helped me understand or find a pathway through being able to make love in a way that works, basically, and that is so beautiful and nourishing. And anyway, so I knew that, and I thought, well, that's great, you know. And then about 6 months later, she contacted me and she said, I do not know what to say because I didn't have a problem with menopause. And, you know, it was really hard for you, and this work really helped you. Can we collaborate? Forces. And that was just, I was like, oh my God, I was thrilled. The funny thing was, though, a month before, and this is the thing, you know, when you go into that rest and digest phase, and when you go into making love in this relaxation, we say that because the energy isn't always getting expelled out, it gets recirculated through the body and it floods the body with these beautiful hormones. And I'd always get this inspiration for writing. You know, it's just what happens. And we were making love and I'm going, just got to stop. So I've just got to write this down. And literally, I went to the computer and I'm like, 12 chapters just flowed out, 12 titles flowed out.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
And this is a month before, right? And I'm going, I looked at it and went, oh, shit. She's writing a book. I can't really write a book if she's writing, you know, always like that because I'm kind of the, you know.
Yes.
And I thought, well, I'll turn it into an online course. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And so when she said that, I went, actually, I've got 12 chapters already. And she said, oh, okay, darling. Can you fill it out? And so I did a synopsis of every chapter, and then we sent it off to the publisher and then fleshed it out. And then she came over. She then added her bits and her amazing, beautiful way of saying things and speaking about sexuality. And also, you know, that book, I mean, then no one was talking about menopause. And so
I remember it being quite so what year would that have been?
It was 2015.
Yeah, I was going to say just after I left the coast.
Yeah.
So how old would I have been then? 40, just turned 40. I feel like I've been blindsided, just like you were saying originally it's like, you know, all these things were happening. And I, like, as a biologist, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I have to stop saying this. I forgive myself.
Yeah.
I forgive myself and look back on compassion. I had no flippant idea that feeling a little bit crazy and huge mood swings was anything to do with hormonal changes.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, I'm losing my marbles. I literally went to my doctor and said that. But at 40, I remember, you know, you were talking a lot about the book, and I knew about it because we were connected from Sunshine Coast and everything. And back then I was like, well, this is like edgy. This is like leading edge, like Janet's speaking about stuff that we all want to speak about, but isn't being spoken about. And yet, because I wasn't in, or I hadn't identified that I was in anywhere near perimenopause, it was kind of something like, oh, I'll read that later. I just want to say to anyone listening, and I know there is actually a lot of women in their 30s that are now choosing to listen to this podcast, because I keep on saying it's not just when you're 40 bloody 7 and up. Goodness. Like, we need to know what's coming, because then we can be educated and aware, and then obviously have a lot more choice and be gentler with ourselves and all of those things. So I wish I had actually just bought the bloody book, and not the bloody book, sorry, no disrespect to your book, but bought it and been aware. But yeah, it felt very leading edge.
It is. It's funny. I've got this thing, I've got this astrologist that I've sort of used every now and then. She said, Janet, you carry the archetype of the progressive agent of change.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I leave
God, that feels so true.
Yeah, because I sort of annoy myself that everything that I've done, I've got this conservative side, but I'm very edgy. I can't help it. It's there. And when she said that, I thought, okay, I've got you there.
I love it.
So it came out in 2018, and then, you know, a few years later, it's like, well, great, everyone's talking about this. I mean, the whole discovery about hormones. I mean, but isn't that interesting? You're a biologist and you don't know it, right? No. So to me, this is how much we've got the wool covered over our eyes when it comes to this.
Absolutely.
So, you know, when I've spoken to women about this polarity thing and tuning into your breasts, and that will start to open up the vagina and the womb. Well, not the womb, but midwives in the group go, oh my God, that's what we tell women to do. We tell men to fondle her breasts and to suck her nipples and to kiss her and just that opens the cervix. It's like, it's
oxytocin. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually starts oxytocin. Same with just
Flooding.
Hugging. Interesting. So not just breast connection, but actually hugging for longer than, I don't know what the statistics are, but you know, it's like not just a passing hug in the hallway, but an actual like
a melting hug.
I'm here. You know, I'm really here.
So true.
So much gold.
Yeah. There was somewhere else you were going.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure if I answered your question, but
right.
where we were.
This is the
I sort of
meandering
went off
nature of
because
this podcast.
I did go off into that thing of change, and there was something before that. What was it?
I know. Oh, no, you were saying that you were leading edge. That actually feels very, it's like.
Well, I'm edgy. I wouldn't say I'm leading necessarily, but I'm edgy. Everything I seem to do is on the edge.
Gentle
and you were
renegade.
saying that yes, it was something. Oh, that's right. When we were editing the book together,
yes,
she was over here, and we spent a week together, which was hilarious.
She sounds very fun. I'd love to meet her.
Yeah. And we spent a week together editing the book. And one of the things she said, "Oh my God, all women need to read this."
Yeah, absolutely.
In their 20s and their 30s, because it's about self-care as well. We have a whole, because what had happened at that time is I started to, I realized I was so depleted. So I needed to find a way to, regenerate. And that's why the restorative yoga I love, and I put that in the book. And then around the womb, looking after our womb and our pelvis with Andrea Lopez's work, and I put that in the book. So all that is something that women of all ages, it's important for us to know. So I love that you said that women in their 30s are listening, and I invite them to not feel embarrassed and or get the book for their mother and then have a read.
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually starting. Well, I've got part of it started, and it's going to be ever growing. But I've got a resources page for exactly this. I just want, and there's many, many different places that you can go for menopause resources. But to me, it's just like we need to have these, references for womankind to be easily found in the one place for people to feel into what feels like a gap, and then but also to see other resources and people and expertise and go, I didn't actually even identify that was like I didn't go looking for that, but now that I see this collection or this circle of women across the world, healers and helpers that help people through this transition, okay, yes, part of my disconnection with my body actually is about the sensuality, sexuality piece where I don't feel like I used to, or, the same things aren't working the same, or my body's changing or whatever, like any sort of vaginal symptoms. We just need to know where to look, I think, if we can just gather.
Right.
That's the gather word again.
Yeah. And not just the medical side, I think you're talking about holistic.
Everything.
And when I was researching for the book, there were very few resources. I mean, of course, we've got, the Wisdom and Menopause by Christiane Northrup, and she's an amazing resource.
Yeah.
But the book, Passage to Power by Leslie Kenton.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Was amazing and very eye-opening. And I had it for years, but to reread that and to listen to how she spoke, or to read about how she spoke about the transition was really powerful. She was a journalist for a long time and did a lot of edgy research into often medical things. And she was a New Zealander, actually. But quite well known. And so I actually want to honour her and Diana Richardson, but I really want to honour Leslie Kenton and also Christiane Northrup, of course, because to me they're the lineage of this book as well, Diana's work and those three women. Leslie Kenton just opened my eyes up so much. And when I went to gather testimonials for the book, I wrote to her, and very sadly she had passed literally a week before or something, and I heard from her son and said, I'm sorry that, she'd passed away. She was in her 70s.
Yeah.
So it was just really significant. So with, that's very close to the heart. And I think this is the important thing. If you look at, societies, ancient societies, there was also always this passing down of wisdom.
Always.
And that chain has been lost through modern history.
Yeah, disconnection.
And so to me, what you're doing is you're providing a platform then for this chain to reemerge and for women to gather the information they need. So I think that's wonderful.
One thing, there's a couple of things. Have you dived into human design yet?
Yeah, not a lot, but I've
I'd just
had
be
it
interested
done.
to see what incarnation cross you have, because I feel
I
like
don't
there
know
would be
that.
a lot of juice in one of the things that I'm marinating. You used that word
Yes,
before. I use marinating all the time because I feel like I'm marinating in lots of things, like
yes,
just, you know, collecting, but just breathing into things and feeling into them
yeah.
or whatever. And one of the things that I'm marinating in at the moment is in my incarnation cross. I have the storyteller, which obviously is what I do, the medicine woman, so passing down a women's wisdom, but also something called the grid worker, which is actually about collecting the wise women and
Mm,
bringing them into a circle. And I'm like, well, hot damn, I don't know how
that's
else you would describe what I'm
yeah,
passionate about. And I just feel like this human design, I've only just gotten into it, but far out, man. I'm like, literally, I could have
yeah,
just skipped all the messiness of my 20s and 30s if I just
yeah,
I know that's not the design.
yeah.
That actually brings me perfectly to one of my final questions, which is, we've talked about the making love retreats. What we haven't talked about is your women's circle retreats, which I've also been looking at all the time, because I used to
Woman time
do
retreat.
yoga
Yeah.
with Melissa.
Listen, did
Yeah, when
you?
I was in Maloney. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of both of yours. So do you want to talk
oh.
about those as well?
Yeah, woman time retreat. Oh my God, it's just yeah.
Delicious.
It was actually inspired from writing the book.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
I didn't
because I
know
just
that.
went, oh my God, women need to know this. And I want to be able to provide a little platform for them to
Yes.
experience this beautiful work.
Mm,
Because I was living in Maloney and going to
mm,
Melissa's, and I had never heard a woman like yoga teacher
mm.
speak about the body and, you know, being female the way Melissa does. And I
With
thought she's
reverence.
so aligned with reverence. Yeah, so aligned to me. Even the way she would word things, I go, I say that, you know.
Yes.
So
So cool.
we're just such sisters, and we just adore each other. And so, yeah, I came up with this idea to put together this retreat to
Mm,
help women, just like you say, come home
mm,
to their bodies, come home, 2 hours of beautiful restorative yoga, but also yoga that helps us understand the pelvic floor and, you know, how to care for the body on that level.
yeah.
Also, I bring in, you know, there's a beautiful whole morning of healing the feminine, just, you know, parts that
Oh.
we've disowned and how to
Mm,
bring them back, or bringing them back through, you know, creative activity and about our presence as women, how we
mm,
show up. You know, do we spill out our energy? Do we
mm.
shrink our energy? So starting to understand our energetic presence as
Yeah.
women.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, and the whole weekend really has turned into really a transformational weekend,
Mm.
I'd say. It sort of started off as a self-care retreat, but it's
I,
very, and also I teach about the whole sexual side. So it's the sensual, feminine, you know, just all of that, and
yeah.
just allowing that to emerge. I'm not about like, you know, going out
Yeah.
and
Forcing it down
yelling to
people's
the
throats.
forcing anything. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's just gentle as we go
Mm.
through. So yeah.
Softly, softly.
Yeah.
When's the next one? I want to book in.
Yes, it is the 17th to the 20th of August.
Oh, oh yeah, that works.
Oh,
Because last year I wanted to come to I'm pretty sure you had one in August last year, or it might have
yeah.
been September.
It's usually
And
August. Yeah.
they are usually on my daughter's birthday. And because she turned
Oh,
18, I was like, no, I can't miss that one. That's
okay.
pretty important. Any other
Yeah.
birthday she wouldn't mind. But that one
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's an
Yeah.
important one.
Yeah. And this is up the
Um,
ridge at Maloney. It is a beautiful,
oh,
stunning venue as well.
I've not
So,
been there, but I've seen photos of there.
yeah.
I just realized we didn't actually talk about the title of the book that we've been referring to. So can
Mm-hmm.
we, so
Yep.
when you say
Okay.
you first discovered Diana Richardson's work, that was in her first book, The Heart of Tantric Sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we will, and I'll put all these in the show notes for
Mm.
anyone listening. But what was your together book? I haven't got that in
It's
front
called
of me.
Tantric Sex and Menopause
Yes.
Practices for Spiritual and Sexual Renewal.
Oh,
Yeah.
if that doesn't make you want to go out and just click away and buy a copy, I don't know what will. I could honestly just sit at your feet and marinate in your wisdom all day.
I think I could do that with you too.
I just feel so privileged to, have the space to be able to share these conversations. And thank you so much for sharing with us. Can you let us know how people can find you online. Sorry, one other question. The Making Love retreats, are they always in Queensland, Australia? Do you do anywhere else?
Always in Noosa. In Noosa now.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
so it's in Queensland. The Making Love retreat.com.au, or if you just go to janetmcgeever.com, you'll find everything there. The retreats are on there. The Making Love retreat is on there. Or I've got a new freebie, which is the 3 essential things that midlife women need to know.
Yep.
So that's on there. Yeah, there's a lot of resources on there.
So good.
Pop on my newsletter and come and join the tribe. And so, and I also always say, and this is for any retreat and anything working privately with me as well, but I always, especially for the Making Love retreat though, offer a free 30-minute time with me for the couple to meet me. And I like to meet them too. I like to know them before they come, and for them to know me. It helps with such an intimate,
connection
retreat for them to feel comfortable to come. But
absolutely.
Also for me to explain what it's about.
Yes.
So.
And no filming, no
answer
nudity.
Any questions. No filming, no nudity.
No nudity, no filming. I'm going to make that your hashtag from now on. Making Love retreat, hashtag no filming, hashtag no nudity.
I think one of this lovely lady, Julie, who's come to the retreats, Julie and Con, said something like it's better than a when people talk about the price, it's better than a cruise and it's cheaper than a divorce.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, but people don't have to be on the edge of things to come. No. I mean, as you know, it's just about deepening.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what, and I feel like, for us, I think one of the magical things that's happened now that our kids are out of school and kind of, making their way in the world is kind of looking at each other going, wow, okay, cool. Yeah. Who are we now? Exactly. We bought a motorbike. We're having a midlife crisis together on a motorbike.
I love that.
But we haven't been out for a long time because the fire season has been crazy and Shane's not been here very much, but he's actually home, and God willing, we'll get rain this weekend, which does not mean motorbikes, but at least means no bikes.
Yeah, good. Hope so.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Thank you.
So good to hang out with you.
Well, we might have to do a second. I know we haven't. One of the things I did want to cover, which we didn't, but we will pause because this is already quite long, is the specific symptoms that affect, sex, libido, vaginal symptoms, etc. in perimenopause. But I just think this is perfect because it's talked to the connection and intimacy parts.
Yeah.
And let's book in.
Yeah, let's do that. No problem. Okay.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Just love hanging out with you. See you, Kylie. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for listening into today's episode. If you love the show, as I hope you do, please take the time to subscribe on your favourite pod listening platform and rate and review. And for bonus points, if you have a friend or someone who popped to mind as you were listening to this episode, why not hit the share link wherever you're listening and send them a little love bomb. Like, listen to this. Did you know this is normal? I really, really, really would love to get these beautiful stories into the hearts and ears and minds of so many more midlife mavens. And your help spreading the love is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm Kylie Patchett, your host, and have a spectacular day.